when we spoke of the life of Thakur Bhaktivinoda, I believe yesterday was his disappearance day, no? Yesterday was his disappearance day. So I thought we could take the opportunity to discuss some of his writings. We discussed his writing from Sharanagati this morning, but he also wrote many Vaishnava bhajans. The nature of these Vaishnava songs is you can sing them day and night, hear them day and night, you will never get tired. That's like the holy name. Janardhan Maharaja was chanting for how long? 1 hour? Almost. So you can chant the holy name day and night, not get tired. Very often, sitting in the audience here, I think 99% of you know our philosophy inside out. So there's something very new that I'm presenting. But many times, the materialists are amazed. They sing the chant the same name again and again, and they don't get tired. They don't get tired with the holy name descending from the spiritual world. So, Thakur Bhaktivinoda has composed many songs. Many of the bhajans we sing were composed by him. And one of his famous bhajans is a bhajan called Jiv Jago. Are all of you familiar with it? How many of you are familiar with the Jiv Jago bhajan? Okay, I imagine that. Jiv Jago, Kora Chanda Bole, Kotarinde Jao Maya, Pisha Jira Khole. So, our Gauranga is calling. Wake up, sleeping souls. Wake up, sleeping souls. You have slept so long on the wish known as Maya. So Lord Gauranga is Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The Lord incarnates at different times, and the Lord incarnates to establish religion. These days, there are many people who say we are incarnations, but a genuine incarnation also performs superhuman activities. Lord Chaitanya was on the planet and he performed many superhuman activities. So, Lord Chaitanya, why did he appear? The Lord appears to reclaim the conditioned souls, and the devotees of the Lord also have the same mission. For example, Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, the founder of ISKCON, he appeared to help fulfill Lord Chaitanya's prediction. And at the age of 70, he undertook a very long journey from Calcutta to New York. On the way, he had 2 heart attacks. Still, he was determined to help spread the message of the Lord. So that is the nature of a devotee. He wants everyone to be happy. Now you may say, everyone's trying to make us happy. You see all these commercials, ads. What do they present? A smiling picture. Am I right? Do they ever present somebody at a funeral home? Or someone morose? No. They'll present a smiling picture. They'll present a young, beautiful girl or a couple. What is it trying to convey? It's trying to convey, if you try this product, you'll also be like the picture, like the person on the screen. Isn't it? So, various agencies are trying to make us happy. But the devotee of the Lord knows that that is not permanent happiness. That is temporary happiness. Let's say you get all your material ambitions realized. You get right to the top of the corporate ladder. But how long will you remain on that ladder? Permanently? Let's say you become a head of a state. In some parts of the world like Russia, they have more or less a in history, so many dictators have come and gone, isn't it? So we have to realize that material activity can only give us temporary happiness. In the Bhagavad Gita 18th chapter, Krishna talks about happiness in goodness, happiness in passion, and happiness in ignorance. He states that happiness in goodness is that which is bitter in the beginning and sweet in the end, and which wakes you up to self-realization. Why is it bitter in the beginning? Who knows why?
Because we have attachments, material attachments.
We tell people to chant Hare Krishna. I can identify some of you in this audience. You've been requesting you to chant for years, but the progress is not at the desired speed. Why is it? What's the problem? The problem is we think that we have too many things to talk about, too many songs to sing, no time for the name of the Lord. But still, if we keep associating with saints, then you're always reminded about a real thing. So in the beginning, when we endeavor to follow a genuine spiritual path, it may be a little painful. But if we pursue and persist, then it becomes sweet. So happiness and goodness is bitter in the beginning, sweet in the end. In contrast, you have happiness in passion. What's the definition? Sweet in the beginning, bitter in the end, and which is derived of contact of the senses with sense object. So by and large, the happiness that you are experiencing in materialistic society is happiness in passion and ignorance. Whereas the Bhagavad Gita says, come to a higher standard of happiness. So, Thakur Bhaktivinoda is saying in this prayer, Lord Chaitanya is saying, please wake up sleeping souls. In other words, please wake up to realize your spiritual activities, to realize that spiritual activities are necessary. Now you may say, we're already up. Don't you see we're already awake? Is that right? So we are materially awake, but spiritually we are snoring. We're in deep sleep. We get the same advice 100 times. In from one ear, out from the other ear. They see, like you go through a tunnel, you go in from one end and come out to the other end. So very often we say, please chant, chant. Here from one ear, out from the other ear. When Prabhupada first started the movement in New York, there was a cartoon in one of the leading New York papers, wasn't the New York Times, but some prominent paper. The cartoon showed two individuals. One, a Hare Krishna Shiva devotee, and the other a business executive from Micron, on a business trip to New York. So one person was saying, chant, 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 and the other person said, can. So what to do? So Lord Chaitanya has appeared to remind us, when the scripture says sleeping souls, it means sleeping spiritually. To wake up, you have been sleeping on the lap of the fish known as Maya for a long time. In other words, we have gone through many births. This is neither your first birth, nor is this your last birth. We have transmigrated in many different forms. And in every form, we want this sense enjoyment. Sense enjoyment is not something that only human beings pursue. Even the animals have the same mood. So, with human life, offers us a rare opportunity. So what did Bhaktivinoda Thakur say further? Bhajiva boliya ishe samsara bitare, mulya rohile tumi avidyar bare. You come into the world of birth and death saying, my Lord, I will certainly worship you. But you have forgotten the promise and remain in great ignorance. So the Srimad Bhagavatam in the 3rd canto describes the whole process of birth, how the child evolves in the womb of the mother from the time of conception to the point of delivery. So if one is very fortunate, we can understand that birth is a very painful process. If birth was not a painful process, children would never be born crying. Have you ever thought of that? Regardless of which part of the world you reside in, regardless of whether you're a queen or a simple poor housewife, the child comes out of the mother's womb crying. And talk to any doctor, he'll tell you he doesn't know. But the scriptures give us the understanding. The child in the mother's womb is in a very uncomfortable position. That's why birth is also considered a painful experience. Generally we know when we are in distress, who do we turn to? God. Even the atheist turns to God. God, please save me, isn't it? So, when we are in that painful situation, we say, okay, please release me now, and I promise you, my Lord, I'll endeavor to reform myself. But when we come out of the mother's womb, we forget our promise. We forget everything. And we pretend as if we never made any promise. Sometimes don't you tell people, when did I tell you that? So we act in such a way as we never made a promise that I'll endeavor to get out of this miserable condition. So this process of birth is nicely explained in the Srimad Bhagavatam. The Srimad Bhagavatam was compiled by Vyasadeva in the prime of his maturity. Vyasadeva had compiled various scriptures, summarized everything in the Vedanta Sutra, but he was still feeling a little despondent. He felt that something is lacking in my effort. So he was meditating what could be the cause. And as he was meditating, his spiritual teacher, Narada Muni, appeared on the scene. And he said, you have not exclusively presented the path of pure devotional service. And then he compiled the Srimad Bhagavatam. Bhagavatam has 18,000 verses. And there are stories from beginning to end. But these stories are not fiction. They're not imaginary. They are real. And each of these stories has a purport, has a theme and a message. And the Bhagavatam virtually answers all our questions. Even if you want to know the structure of the universe, you can get that information from the Bhagavatam. So, Thakur Bhaktivinoda is saying, at one time when we were in difficulty, we promised that we will turn to God, but now you have forgotten. So this is very often a common practice. When we are in difficulty, we make promises. Am I right? And when the difficulty is over, we tend to forget the promise. And that also happens in our relationship with the Lord. तुम्हारे लोहिते में आईने अवतारा हमें बिना बंधुआरे किया तुम्हारा. I have descended just to save you, except for me, who is your friend. So, we live in a society which is full of friends and enemies. Is that right? Or everyone is our friend? Today a friend, tomorrow enemy. Anyway, so who is considered to be our friend? Generally we consider somebody who can help us materially, somebody who can facilitate our sense enjoyment, and consider him to be our friend. But who is your real friend? Your real friend is one who cares for you spiritually. Your real friend is one who wants you to be really happy, who doesn't want you to experience the illusory happiness and think that this is real happiness. Your real friend is one who wants you to go back to your real home. What is the real address? Does anyone know? When I was coming here, I saw the colony was called New Homes. Is the real address? What's your name, sir?
Anil.
Anil what?
Anil Kokotla.
So is the real address Anil Kokotla, New Homes, Boise, Idaho, USA? Is that our real address or is that our temporary address? Very temporary, isn't it? So, our real address is what? Going back to Godhead. That's a place where there's no misery at all. It is described that in the Vaikuntha planets, there's no old age. Isn't that wonderful? Nobody wants old age. There's no disease. My God. No doctors, no hospitals, no ambulances. It is self-illuminated, never gets dark, never gets too cold, never gets too hot. Like these days on the East Coast, everyone's complaining about the heat. I told them this is the Indian summer. Yeah, I was in Washington, Atlanta, everyone was complaining. Oh, it's so hot, it's so hot. So, when you wake on the planets, you have no reason to complain. I'm sure in Boise it gets cold in the winter and ice. When you wake on the planets, you don't have that unpleasant experience. So that is called Vaikuntha, where there's no anxiety, no pain, no distress, no law courts, etc. And the place where we are residing now, whether it's India or America, doesn't matter. People consider America to be almost like heaven on earth. Am I right? They think that this is the land that where we should end up if we want to become a millionaire. So all over the world, the dream of almost everyone is to get a green card in America. Am I right? But even if you come to America on a green card or H1 or any of these visas, or even take up citizenship, can you free yourself from the sevenfold miseries? Can you? Can you free yourself from birth and disease? No, you can't. So what is intelligent can see all around, there is nothing but misery. Have any of you ever visited an old age home? Yeah. You went to see some relatives?
No, I just went to
sightseeing.
service.
Okay. So, if you go to, I often tell people that visiting an old age home and hospital is the best training ground to see how misery can strike us. Because when we haven't experienced misery, we tend to think, where is the misery? This is just false propaganda that the spiritualists are doing to create fear. If you go to an old age home, you will see how people are really suffering. You go to a hospital, you see how people are suffering. You go to see someone before surgery. We have few devotees who are major surgeons in John Hopkins and other hospitals. So I was discussing with them, they say, before surgery, the man just holds on to the doctor's head and says, "Doctor, please save me, please make sure everything is okay." As if anything is in the doctor's hand. So the point is, in the material world, regardless of what you realize, you can never find any real happiness. Therefore this world is called Kunta Loka. So there are two, Vaikuntha and Kunta. Right now we are residing in Kunta Loka, but the scriptures are giving us an invitation, just like you get invited to a wedding or a party. The Lord is inviting us through His agents to embark on a spiritual path. So, it says, who is our real friend? Our real friend is one who wants to wake you up to serve the Lord. He's a real friend. As they say in English, fair weather friend. You heard that phrase? What's a fair weather friend? Anyone? Who wants to volunteer a reply?
The one who is a friend in all weather.
A fair weather friend. He is your friend when the weather is good. When you have money in your pocket, he's your friend. But if you go bankrupt tomorrow, he won't even turn to you. He's a fair weather friend. He's your friend when you're prosperous. But when you go bankrupt, he'll say bye-bye. So most of the people are fair weather friends. And most of the relationships were also fair weather. Otherwise, why would the divorce rate be so high? Otherwise, they might want to get into details. But if you look at society, the present society, you see that everyone's a fair weather friend. Children are good with the parents up to a point. The relationships and families holds to a point. There are very few real relationships. So who is your real friend? Your real friend is one who tells you, "Please chant Hare Krishna." And you say, "Stop bothering me, I've heard this so many times." And he still persists, "Please chant Hare Krishna." He takes the risk at the cost of being insulted. Once in the Chaitanya Bhagavad you read, once Lord Chaitanya called Haridas and Lord Nityananda. Lord Nityananda is an incarnation of Lord Balaram. And Haridas, he used to chant the holy name 300,000 times a day. So he said, "Go house to house and preach the message of the Lord." So they went house to house. Some houses they were received warmly, and some houses they were insulted. So when you preach the message of the Lord, there's no guarantee that everyone's going to be receptive. And devotees, they go uninvited. It's not that we wait for an invitation. So your real friend is one who wants to guide you, who wants to give you real knowledge. There are two types of knowledge: material knowledge and spiritual knowledge. If you just pursue the path of material knowledge, you will never be happy. Like, what does material knowledge teach us? Material knowledge by and large tells us how to increase the quantity. Am I right? If you're earning $2,000 a month, it teaches you how to increase your income. If you have a car, how to get a better car. But spiritual knowledge brings quality into your life. Material knowledge focuses on quantity. More. You've heard that before? Give me more of this, more of this. But if you have spiritual knowledge, you want quality in your life. What does it mean, quality to your life? You want to know, what is the human life for? Does it have a goal? Does it have a purpose? Or just to be lives in ignorance. So what is lacking in society is education by which we understand how to improve the quality of your life. How many of you want to improve the quantity of your life? Quantity means whatever you have, we want more money, bigger house, latest car. How many of you want? And how many of you would like to improve the
latest cell phone?
Latest cell phone? iPhone. You know why iPhones are so popular? You may say because Apple has a good marketing plan, they have good technology, they do. But another reason why iPhone is so successful, because everybody focuses their life on I. They always say, I'm the best man around, I'm the most successful person. Everyone likes it, isn't it? I and me. That's what life focuses on. I want more of this, I want more of this, I want more of this. So when they see a phone or iPhone, they can relate it more easily. Because our whole life is focused on trying to satisfy the I in you. But where is the I in us? So, your real friend is one who may take the risk of being insulted, but he still wants you to be really happy. Just like sometimes people say, you Hare Krishnas are too pushy. Have you heard that? In Boise they're not pushy. But sometimes people say, you Hare Krishnas are too pushy. You always want us to buy books. You always come for donations. So we are pushy for a good cause. We try to engage everyone in service to the Lord. So, your real friend is who gives you the real knowledge. And as we were saying, the two parts are the two types of knowledge, material and spiritual. If we just have material knowledge, that will not be enough. That's like Śrīla Prabhupada was once lecturing at a famous institute in Boston. And he said, in this great department, is there any department that tells you what happens after death? And there was complete silence. So how many people even meditate on that? Tell me frankly. Do you ever meditate what happens after death? No. Do you ever realize, is the sun setting now? Yeah? Okay. But do you realize there's one day less left in your life? Did anyone realize that? Tell me honestly. Do you ever think like that? Like now the sun is setting. What is the date today? 13th. So 13th July is going to end very shortly. So do we realize 13th July is gone? One day less is left in my life. We don't meditate that. Bhagavatam says, with the rising and setting of the sun, the duration of everyone but one who uses his life in service of the Lord is being reduced. So we don't realize that. Does anyone realize that? If you have spiritual training, then you realize. There was this very famous devotee writer, Chanakya Pandit. His statements are almost at par with Vedic teachings. He was the prime minister of a king. The king offered him full opulences, full facility to live in a palace. When he said, I live in a hut, because they would take your obligation, I'll have to agree to everything you say. So he kept his integrity. So Chanakya Pandit says, a minute lost cannot be made up with the wealth of the entire world. Forget hours, days, weeks, years. A minute lost. And what does it mean lost? A minute used in idle activities or not conducive activities, conducive to spiritual advancement. You cannot make it up, just like, now what's the time now?
8:30.
Okay, 8:30. So you tell anyone, here's $1 million check, bring back 8:30, 13 July. Can anyone do that? No. So time is of great value. You know, if you can get a good bargain, you'll walk 10 miles, you'll go to 10 stores. But we never think that time should not be wasted. So, he's your friend who wants to guide you. So along with material education, we should also cultivate spiritual education. And if you have the two, like you go to a doctor, he says, you must have a balanced diet, balanced life, isn't it? One reason why people get stressed, there are many reasons, but one reason is overwork, not having a balanced program. So we need to have a balanced program in society, balance between spiritual life and material life. We don't say don't work, don't study, don't marry, don't have children, but have a balanced life. And if you have a balanced life, then you'll be happy. Presently, most of us are leading an imbalanced life. And because we're leading an imbalanced life, we have tension and all this confusion in society. And so we need to have a balanced life. So he says, I brought the medicine to eradicate the disease of illusion. So pray for the Mahamantra and take it. So why do we chant the Hare Krishna mantra? There are many reasons. And people often want to say, okay, but chant, what's the benefit? What's the benefit in chanting? Who knows? Any volunteers? Yes.
Gets our heart.
It's like a medicine for us, so we can go back to the spiritual world.
It cleanses our heart. We have a lot of dirt in our heart. Is that true or false? Dirt in the form of lust, anger, greed, envy. Krishna says, the three paths taking you to hell. What are they? Lust, anger, and greed. So due to the presence of these anarthas, anartha means that which is not necessary, we can't understand the spiritual message. It appears Greek, it appears too foreign to us. What language are they speaking? Sometimes in India we're chatting with your bead bag. Sometimes people think, oh, you have a fractured hand. They don't know that they're chatting of the bead inside. But because people have lost track of the process of chanting on beads, they think it's something strange. So similarly, we are not educated to understand the real message. So this chanting of the holy name cleanses the heart. Just like if you're afflicted with fever, then even if someone offers you something very palatable, you can't appreciate it, am I right? But as the fever comes down, you can do it. So our disease is illusion. What does illusion mean? What does illusion mean? It's a false to reality. Something that is false, you think it's real. We think this body is temporary, but we don't realize it is temporary. We think it's permanent. So we are in various types of illusion. And this illusion is cured by this chanting. Marjanam. Just like today, there are thousands of Krishna conscious devotees all over the world. People from Indian background, American background, Russian background, African background. And why are people chanting? Because the chanting gives them some level of satisfaction. Otherwise, why would they chant? And this chanting also gives you real happiness. So, Thakur Bhaktivinoda says, he has a medicine to cure you. Prabhupada used to give an example. For every disease, there's a different cure. Is that right? It's not that if a disease, you just walk into a store and pick any medicine off the shelf. Specific medicine, disease, specific medicine. So similarly, there are 4 main ages. In Satya Yuga, the lifespan was 100,000 years, and the process was meditation on the Lord. And people could meditate up to 60,000 years. Next came Treta Yuga. In that the duration gets reduced 10 times, 10,000. And what was the process? Elaborate yagyas, in which you needed brahmanas, and these brahmanas could ignite fire without any matches or lighters. And you needed a lot of pure ingredients, pure butter, oil, ghee, etc. Then came Dwapara Yuga, where the lifespan gets reduced more than 10 times. And the process was very elaborate gifts to the Lord. So we told you, come for darshan this Sunday, but please bring a gram of gold with you for our deities. Would you do that? You may do it once in a decade. We told you, do the yagyas like in Treta Yuga, your neighbors would probably call the police if you ignited fire every day. But he would say, we can't afford all these expensive bills every day. So in Kali Yuga, in which the maximum duration is 100 years, the Lord has given this chanting process. So by and large, even if you survive to 100, you're lucky, am I right? So this disease can be cured by this chanting. And as Lord Chaitanya said, Anand Vibhuti Vardhanam, this chanting also gives you real happiness. The Thakur Vinod, with a very humble soul, say praise for the holy name. So generally, we pray, God give me my daily bread, God make me rich, get me promoted, let my stocks go up. But we should pray to the Lord, please may get attached to the holy name. We should beg for the holy name. And if we sincerely beg for the holy name, then you get for the holy name, then you get the holy name. And how do you beg for the holy name? By chanting the holy name. So we've come to your location here with a request, with an agenda. We're not hiding anything. And what is our agenda? What's our agenda? To get all of you to keep chanting on a regular basis. That's all. Just chant Hare Krishna. We haven't come to ask you for some big donation. Not on this occasion at least. We may do it on another occasion. But on this occasion we've come to you with a simple request. Chant the holy name, read the Gita, and find real happiness. So please pursue this path. You've heard this message I don't know how many hundreds of times. Sometimes it sings slowly, sometimes it flows fast. So with some it may be singing slowly, and in some it may be moving fast. You can either move at the speed of a goods train or the Chinese bullets. So, what Krishna says, all of them, as a surrender to me, I reward them accordingly. Like in the Bible it is said, as you sow you shall reap. The meaning is the same. So based on how we perform, the degree to which we surrender, Krishna protects us. So you are fortunate, you are residing in a city called Boise, which has a very nice temple. I believe the temple has been there for more than 30 years. So take advantage of the temple, support the temple, and work together with the temple to spread the message of Godhead. Hare Krishna. Okay. So we can take on a few questions if you have. Any questions? question? Yes.
Why do we have to chant 16 every day? We can do more, but why is it to the minimum 16?
Just like sometimes I'm sure you've fallen sick and you go to the doctor. The doctor gives you medicine, says, take 4 tablets a day. Or take this syrup 4 times a day. So you do it 4 times a day. Why? If you take it 4 times a day, the germs will be in control and you'll be able to recover. So 16 rounds is the ideal dosage for a healthy man. But if you don't want to be so healthy, you can chant a little less. But our goal should be to reach 16. But the Lord is so kind, even if you utter the holy name once, He gets indebted to you. So, and 16 also is just the minimum. Anyway, that can be our target. We won't give you 64 rounds as a target because that may give some people heart attacks. So we'll stick to 16. So move up gradually. Yeah. No more questions?
How to stay focused?
How to?
Stay focused.
Good question. How to stay focused? See, many of you, I'm sure, realize and agree that what we are saying is true. Because we're not telling you anything different from what Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita. So many of you do believe what is true. Time lost can never be regained. Tide and time wait for no one. You know that. But we can't take to spiritual life because we have too many other attractions. And what the materialistic society does, it multiplies your attractions. Especially these days, with the technology of the smartphones, it's made Maya's job easier. Now, if you ever fly on the plane, you'll see that 70% of the people on the plane are either watching a movie or playing with a smartphone. Am I right? And wherever people get an opportunity, smartphone. And in countries like India, it's a fashion. You have 3-4 phones in your pocket. So they can play with your phones even more. So, but smartphones are also a blessing in the sense that when a devotee has a smartphone, the first thing he does, put Prabhupada's books on the smartphone. So the distractions will always be there, but you need determination. Just like in your professional career. At one time you were all students in India, and your main goal in life was, I must get into the IIT. So you worked hard to get into IIT, am I right? I mean, I know these students work hard. Worked hard, your goal was to get into IIT. Then your next step was something. And ultimately you probably thought, let me get into America. So you worked hard to it. So just like we work hard to realize our material goals, we also have to be determined to realize our spiritual goals. That's all. And Krishna doesn't say, you have to resign your job. Lord Chaitanya was on a tour of southern India. He stayed in the house of a devotee called Kurma. The Kurma Brahmin told him, my dear Lord, I'm tired of a householder life. Please take me with you. Like householders often say. So Lord Chaitanya said, no, you don't have to come with me. Stay at home. Chant the holy name and preach the message of the Bhagavad Gita. So Krishna says, stay at home and chant. So you can do your business, you can do your job. But the only thing that we try and keep you away from is nonsense activities. Like it's not necessary to take meat, fish and eggs. It's not necessary to take intoxication, is it? It's not necessary to gamble. If you are a married man, live according to religious principles in the scriptures. So by following these rules of good conduct, I would say, you become more wise. And there's another benefit. Want to hear what that is? You may say, why didn't you say that first? And that is, if you become Krishna conscious, you'll save more money. Oh, if someone told me that, you should say first. Because you save yourself from all bad habits. I know people who before they became devotees, they used to go to clubs, gamble, drink, play golf, and throw money. Now, their destinations are home, office, temple. Home, office, temple. Whatever money you save, if you desire, you can use it for Krishna. Not a bad... But bad habits cost money. Good habits are free. It's a fact. It's not a fact. Bad habits cost money, isn't it? You want to watch movies, you want to go to clubs, you want to go to clubs, it costs money. You want to go to the Bahamas, it costs money. But good habits are free. We don't charge you for chanting Hare Krishna, do we? Anandarupa. Okay. So put that on the top of the list. If I become a Hare Krishna devotee, I'll save money. That may be a powerful incentive. Okay. Any more questions? No more? No more questions?
Maharaja,
Yeah.
so some of us have been chanting for several years. Why does it feel that we are not making progress while we are still material?
On the one hand, the devotee is humble. He thinks that he should try harder. He doesn't want to become complacent. There's Hertz rent-a-car company. You meet them at the airport. They have a slogan, we try harder. So I tell devotees that should be our slogan. We try harder. But the other fact is, if you were not attracted to the chanting, you will not be chanting. You may feel that I'm not making progress, but you are making progress, and the proof is you're still chanting. If you didn't get any taste, you would say, to hell with it, I don't want to chant. Isn't it? So you are getting taste, but we need to get deeper taste. How many rounds do you chant?
16.
16. So you are on the right track. Just stay on that track. And if you were not getting taste, why would you chant? Isn't it? The very fact that you chant, come to these spiritual discourses, come into service in the temple, your wife does service, means you are getting a taste. But devotees' humble nature often influences them to think, I'm not getting taste. And even if you're not getting taste, do it. Why? Because Krishna wants us to do it. You take medicine. Do you know how medicine works? I don't know, I take so many pills. We don't know how it works, isn't it? But you have one faith. Yes, doctors said that this is the cure for my disease. Am I right? So the real doctor is Krishna. The supreme doctor is Krishna. So Krishna is telling us to chant. It's not that the chanting was given birth by ISKCON. It's not that Bhaktivedanta Swami originated some new theory. This is in the Shastras. Shastra means words of God. Harinam, Harinam, Harinam eva kevalam, kalo naseva, naseva, naseva. In this age of Kali, chant, 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 this is the medium. Just imagine, we had a mantra for which you were required to study Sanskrit, become a Pandit first. Nobody, our temple would be completely empty. But the Hare Krishna is so easy. Anyone can adapt to it, isn't it? I've had situations. You go to Russia, like you had the Sadhu Sangha festival in America, in May, I think. In Russia, we have a festival every year in the Black Sea. There are more than 8,000 Russians who come to that. They're all chanting the holy name. So the holy name can be chanted in China, all over. There's Harinam Sankirtan going on. Devotees chant. So this chanting can be done by everyone. You go to Africa, people are chanting. So this chant, Hare Krishna mantra, can easily be adapted by anyone. Isn't that a fact? More questions? Yes. When you chanted the Hare Krishna mantra the first time, did you have difficulty memorizing it?
I think for the first time I had to look at it.
Yeah, but learning wasn't a difficult process. Learning to pronounce the mantra. Okay, what's your question?
I'm just wondering, how do you know you're in Maya? How can you be rational so much?
How do you know whether you're on the right path or the wrong path? Well, if you're too attracted to material things and not attracted to chanting or serving or associating, then that would indicate you're in Maya. But if you're getting attracted to chanting, staying with devotees, serving, then that would indicate you're at least endeavoring or attempting to get attracted to spirituality. And if you're in doubt, take the help of a superior. Just like in every part of our life, we take guidance from a superior, isn't it? If you want to learn a language, you go to a language teacher. So in spiritual life also we have Guru, Sadhu, Shastra. We have the Guru and the Sadhu. Take help from them. Ask them, these are my symptoms, these are my activities. Am I on the right path or wrong path? Please guide me. Take guidance. We all need help to advance spiritually. That's why spiritual association is highly recommended. Okay, any more questions? Where? Yes.
Does the cycle of...
We met yesterday. What's your name?
Morgan.
Yeah, Morgan.
Does the cycle of yugas actually ever truly stop?
Wasn't repeating yourself.
Does the cycle of yoga really
Does
stop?
the cycle of yugas actually ever truly stop?
Because repeating. Kali Yuga will go, and again the cycle will start. Cycle keeps repeating. The 4 ages go together. After the 4th age is over, the 1st age starts again. So any more questions?
Forever. Does it ever stop?
What?
I'm asking from a point of when enlightenment is reached, is the yuga still happening?
When
one is enlightened.
When we become enlightened, then are the yugas still happening?
When we become enlightened, you go back to the spiritual world, Vaikuntha. which is where the Lord is inviting us to come. Right? Because the yogas don't affect them. And when you have good vision, your vision is good. You want to get rid of the material. You want to enter the spiritual world. Stay on the right path. Did you say something?
So, similar to what he's asking, is there a certain point where the universe is ended, where there's no more universe?
It never ends.
It just dissolves into the body of the Lord and then it comes out again?
Yeah, but it comes out. It's always there, because there will always be conditioned souls.
Except for karma, everything is eternal. Bhagavad Gita, 5 elements: kala, karma, prakriti, ishvara, jiva. Except for karma, they are all eternal.
It keeps repeating itself. That's the point. It's good that some of you have a very good vision. Get out of the material world. That's what we're campaigning for. Giving you information how to get out of the spiritual world. Okay, thank you very much.